Hello dearies, it's me again, just for daily reading. Tonight I'm going to read something from Deathly Hallows. Oh my gosh, we went from the first one now to the last one, so I guess I do, I'm gonna keep you up to, suspicions about what's gonna come next. Tomorrow night I could be back, on the 3rd or something, but actually I think that's a lie, because I'm probably going to do a couple from the 7th one, since it's, let's see, like 759 pages long, so yeah, I'm going to do a couple for it, but I'm sure you Harry Potter fans don't mind. I know my best friend does not mind. That's why I'm doing this whole thing. That's how it got started. By me posting it 2 nights ago on her Facebook. Just a Facebook video, and she goes, "You should do it all the time." And I was like, okay, so now it's on YouTube. And I'm probably embarrassing the crap out of myself, because I know that some of you are like, "This girl's an idiot, and why am I watching it?" But don't worry about it, I don't really care, and I just opened up to, if you want to follow along, I don't know if that's something you guys want to do, but I'm going to tell you the pages anyways. I'm on chapter 19, page 364, so let's see where that goes, shall we? Got my wand here, you can help follow my page. Harry paused in the act of pulling on a jumper and glanced at the silent, motionless sneakoscope on the table. "I'm sure I imagined it," said Hermione, looking nervous. "The snow in the dark, it plays tricks on your eyes. But perhaps we ought to disapparate under the invisibility cloak, just in case." Half an hour later, with the tent packed, Harry wearing their horcrux, and Hermione clutching the beaded bag, they disapparated. The usual tightness engulfed them. Harry's feet parted company with the snowy ground and slammed hard onto what felt like frozen earth covered with leaves. "Where are we?" he asked, peering round at a fresh mass of trees as Hermione opened the beaded bag and began tugging out tent poles. "The Forest of Dean," she said. "I came camping here once with Mom and Dad. Here too snow lay on the trees all around, and it was bitterly cold, but they were at least protected from the wind. They spent most of the day outside the tent, huddled for warmth around the useful bright blue flames that Hermione was so adept at producing, and which could be scooped up and carried around in a jar." Harry felt as though he was recuperating from some brief but severe illness, an impression reinforced by Hermione's solicitudeness. That afternoon, fresh flakes drifted down upon them, so that even the sheltered clearing had a fresh dusting of powdery snow. After 2 nights of little sleep, Harry's senses seemed more alert than usual. Their escape from Godric's Hollow had been so narrow that Voldemort seemed somehow closer than before, more threatening. As darkness drew in again, Harry refused Hermione's offer to keep watch and told her to go to bed. Harry moved an old cushion into the tent mouth and sat down, wearing all the sweaters he owned, but even so, still shivering. The darkness deepened with the passing hours until it was virtually impenetrable. He was on the point of taking out the Marauder's mark, so as to watch Ginny stop for a while, before he remembered that it was the Christmas holidays and that she would be back at the Burrow. Every tiny movement seemed magnified in the vastness of the forest. Harry knew that it must be full of living creatures, but he wished they would all remain still and silent, so that he could separate their innocent scurryings and prowlings from noises that might proclaim other, sinister movements. He remembered the sound of a cloak slithering over dead leaves many years ago, and at once thought he heard it again, before mentally shaking himself. The protective enchantments had worked for weeks. Why should they break now? And yet he could not throw off the feeling that something was different tonight. Several times he jerked upright, his neck aching because he had fallen asleep, slumped at an awkward angle against the side of the tent. The night reached such a depth of velvety blackness that he might have been suspended in limbo between disapparition and apparition. He had just held up a hand in front of his face to see whether he could make out his fingers, when it happened. A bright silver light appeared out right ahead of him, moving through the trees. Whatever the source, it was moving soundlessly. The light seemed simply to drift toward him. He jumped to his feet, his voice frozen in his throat, and raised Hermione's wand. He screwed up his eyes as the light became blinding, the trees in front of it pitch black in silhouette, and still the thing came closer. And then the source of the light stepped out from behind an oak. It was a silver-white doe, moon-bright and dazzling, picking away over the ground, still silent, and leaving no hoof prints in the fine powdering of snow. She stepped toward him, her beautiful head with its wide, long-lashed eyes held high. Harry stared at the creature, filled with wonder not at her strangeness, but at her inexplicable familiarity. He felt that he had been waiting for her to come, but that he had forgotten until this moment that they had arranged to meet. His impulse to shout for Hermione, which had been so strong a moment ago, had gone. He knew he would have staked his life on it that she had come for him, and him alone. Well, that's all for tonight, dearies. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry about no Seamus guest appearance tonight, but it's his birthday tomorrow, so I give him the night off. And maybe he'll show up tomorrow for you guys. And you can all wish him a nice, happy 4th birthday. Good night.